It is my great pleasure to introduce Jorge Teo, who is a student from Nogales and part of the Kino Border Initiative Kino Teens, and he's going to be speaking about Pope Francis and the Kino Teens. Welcome, Jorge.
Thank you. I'd like to share with you a story of what it's like to meet an immigrant. It's my experience, and as I looked into his eyes, I did not see a criminal, a drug lord, or a rapist. I saw a person. In many ways, I saw a reflection of myself. At only 19 years of age, he even looked like me. You know, he was short, and with black hair and brown eyes. We also shared a common dream, the United States, a land of opportunity. The only real difference between us were the decisions we have made given our situation. Nefi was an immigrant, deported after being found walking through the desert without proper documentation. For 3 days and nights, he walked the desert terrain until Border Patrol agents discovered him near a state highway. He told me of the horrible conditions he was subject to: freezing cold temperatures, concrete beds, and a particularly disturbing procedure where all immigrants were forced to keep only a single layer of clothing, and the rest of their belongings were placed in the trash. A couple of weeks after being deported, he got a call from his girlfriend telling him that he would soon become a father. I met Nefi at the Comedor, which is a soup kitchen located a 5-minute walk from the border, run by the Kino Border Initiative. This initiative is a Jesuit ministry in Nogales, Mexico, and Nogales, Arizona, that works for the just treatment of immigrants by the authorities. The Comedor caters specifically to the needs of recent deportees by providing them with food, water, toiletries, clothes, and shelter. It serves as a safe haven for immigrants that have just lost it all: their belongings, their hopes, and dreams. And the Comedor serves as a bridge for students like me who reach people like Nefi. Getting to meet him was a huge honor, and it completely made off with all the stereotypes and preconceived notions I had about undocumented immigrants. Nefi's story is useful for pointing out some of the many aspects of the problems caused by immigration policy. One of the questions that are often asked in regards to immigrants is, why do these people come to the U.S.? In Nefi's case, as in the case of many other immigrants, is opportunity. It wasn't to cross drugs, to rape women, or to steal. Nefi was ready to take advantage of an open spot in the workforce not offered in his home. His decision to come here doesn't mean that there were no opportunities in his original location. It simply means that in his point of view, this was better than the rest and worth the huge risk. Many times the reason is not only about time and money. Under the current visa system, it's pretty much impossible for people such as Nefi to obtain a visa, so crossing without documentation becomes the only option. This forced him to cross through the Sonoran desert, an environment with extreme climates. Another question to ask is, why was Nefi treated this way? For many immigrants, crossing the border without documentation is a last resort. It is one of the lowest points of their life. However, instead of receiving much needed support and encouragement from people, they are often treated in ways that no human being should ever be subject to. So last fall, rumors began to spread regarding the Pope's visit to America, and we at Kino Teens heard that there was a possibility of him visiting a border. Kino Teen members decided to write letters inviting the Pope to see the migrant situation and learn about Nogales, my border community. And much to our surprise, our Holy Father wrote back to us. And the letter, originally written in Spanish, reads the following way: Vatican City, December 19th, 2014. Dear brother, I thank you for your letter, in which you make me aware of the young people from the Kino Teens who work on behalf of migrants in that border city, and who live daily the immigration phenomenon that generates all sorts of inhumane consequences. I also received several letters from these young persons. I beg you to give them my regards, along with my grateful acknowledgement for their generous commitment, and above all, my nearness and encouragement to them not to tire in their labor of edifying love of others and embrace against discrimination and exclusion. These young people who have come to learn how to strive against the propagation of stereotypes from people who only see in immigration a source of illegality, social conflict, and violence can contribute much to show the world a church without borders as mother of all, a church that extends to the world the culture of solidarity and care for the people and families that are affected many times by heart-rending circumstances. I am also pleased to see that in their project, these young people do not forget the spiritual and religious attention, which provides a source of hope for those that have been the hardest hit in their lives. Dear brother, your letter and the ones from the Lourdes Catholic School students have touched my heart, not only because of the drama they describe, but also for the hope they manifest. I wish for all of you a holy and happy Christmas. I beg you to please pray and ask them to pray for me. May Jesus Christ bless you and the Holy Virgin Mary take care of you. Fraternally, Francisco. The motivation that our group felt after reading his letter was astounding. Kino Teen members, as well as the rest of the high school students, were assured about the value of our work and its importance. In a way, our work was validated and approved by the highest authority in the church. And actually, that's exactly what happened. My hope is that immigrants will one day be seen as people just like us, and not as another problem to be dealt with. I believe that shutting them out is not the best option. Building a wall is probably one of the worst possible courses of action. Well, how about a bridge instead? I invite you to learn more about the border, about our neighbors in the south, and about the migrant situation happening in the southern border of the United States. You can visit by coming to our workshop about bridges between Mexico and the U.S. After this session, we'll be happy to share with you some more experiences. And thank you.